Okay, so in this example here, we're asked to find the angle instead. So up to now, we've actually found, in this example, we're given the angle and we're asked to find the equation of the lines that it could possibly be. So what I have here is what the answer looks like. So the red line here is actually 2x minus 2y minus 1 equal to 0. And the point here A is our 2, 3. So what we're going to end up with is the equation of these two black lines. Now, it should be no surprise here, if you look at this, you can see that there's a triangle in here. So it should be no surprise if they're both making an angle of 45 degrees. There's one of them there, and there's another one of them there. Okay, 45 degrees through the point 2, 3. That obviously what's left over for the triangle is 90 degrees, which will mean that when we get the slopes of these two lines, that they will be actually perpendicular to each other. Okay, so the two slopes, when we eventually end up getting their line, they will be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so we'll start off as usual and we'll go with our two lines, but this time we just know that our answer. So their first line is line through 2, 3, and I'm just going to call that the slope M1. Okay, and we'll just say that that's M, because we don't know what that is, but we know that we've two answers that we will get eventually. Now the next one then is x minus 2y minus 1 equals to 0. So we're going to get the slope of this using our minus a over b. So our M2 here is equal to 1 over minus 2, and a sign change will give me 1 over 2 for that. Okay, so the next thing then I need to do is I need to use my formula. So this time I'm going to write it the other way around. So I'm going to write absolute value of M1 minus M2, 1 plus M1 M2, and I'm going to put it equal to the tan of theta. Now again, I'm using my absolute values. Now it's really important to use them here in this case because you're dealing with the acute angle of 45, so it would have been the positive answer. We will use our absolute values then with plus or minus to get out the two different answers. So I'm filling in just M for M1 because I don't know what that is. I'm filling in minus a half for M2. The next thing then I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 1 plus M1 again, which is M, and times a half again. And I'm going to put my answer equal to the tan of 45 degrees. Okay. Now there's no surprise that they're using tan of 45 because that's a nice slope of 1. Okay, so let's just go back here. Just wanted a new page there. So now I'm going to go. Now, what I'm going to do here, this looks quite messy in here with these mixed fractions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everywhere by 2. Now I'm multiplying top and bottom by 2, so I'm not breaking any rules because as we know, 2 over 2 is simply 1. Okay, so I'm just going to multiply this left-hand side by 1, but I'm doing it in kind of a sly way using 2 over 2. So what I'll get here then is 2 by m is giving me 2m. 2 by minus a half will give me minus 1. 2 by 1 gives me 2, and then 2 by a half here will just leave me with m. So that just makes that far easier to work with, and I'm going to put that equal to 1. Now I'm going to make use of my absolute values, because what I now know at this stage is that 2m minus 1 over 2 plus m is equal to 1, or 2m minus 1 over 2 plus m equals negative 1. So just working with both of these separately, so 2m minus 1 equals 2 plus m. So bringing my m over here will give me m is equal to, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Now I know already, because we've just figured out from my diagram, that these lines have to be perpendicular. So I've got the slope of one of these to be 3, which is obviously this one. Okay, because this has it's this one here, because this one has the positive slope. Now, we obviously know that the next one now I hopefully should get minus 1/3 because it's perpendicular to it. Okay, so I'm going to get that 2m minus 1 equals minus 1 times 2 plus m. So I'm going to get 2m minus 1 equals minus 2 minus m. So bringing my m over, I get 3m. Bringing my minus 1 over and becomes a plus 1, I get minus 1. So m is equal to minus 1/3, as we were expecting. Now, there are two slopes. So this one here is our negative one. Okay, so this is m of minus 1/3. Now, I'm not finished this question because I need to use those slopes and the point 2, 3. Okay, so each of these slopes here I have to use this m equal to 3 and the point 2, 3, and then repeat with m equal to minus 1/3 and my 2, 3, and I need to get the slope, I need to get the equation of those lines simply using y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I leave that as a simple exercise for you to complete, or look at your example.